Okay. Oh no, I have the wrong one up. I'm gonna go to YouTube and oh, it's going okay. So, don't mind the front of the screen, the loading. I'm gonna see if I can commission an animated one. Um, and let's get started. There will likely be technological issues incoming. All right. So, um, oh my god, I got distracted by my own noises because I have to do an audio check. My audio is also not the best, so please let me know if my audio needs improvement. Um, I wasn't streaming for like a week because I was like pretty sick. I'm still pretty sick, but we'll see if I can keep the energy going, guys. Uh, for some general housekeeping around here, I am trying to work to get an animated waiting room and some music. I don't want to use royalty-free music though. I'd rather make it myself, but I have no musical talent. Um, so this could be a little that'll be a little bit hard. It's just I can't use royalty-free music without crediting the artist, and it's hard to credit those type of artists in general because they don't really have portfolios. As someone who's a kid and I loved making music and using little programs, I kind of understand wanting to put it out there, and there's some veterans that are making really good free music for people and content creators online, and I feel like the least you could do is shout them out if they're not being paid, but it's really complicated. But I know how to commission animation from someone, so, and worst come to worst, I can kind of do it myself, maybe. Anyway, this is the name of the stream. This is where I take large ensemble casts and whatnot, and because I specialize in costume design and character design in general in my art, and I've consulted for multiple people. This is one of my areas of expertise. I mean, I also have a STEM degree, but who gets a job with their actual degree? So we're going to go over some things to keep in mind. Today we're doing Wuthering Waves. I think I'm going to do some anime next because, you know, branch out. So we're going to read this. You might have been reading it and completely ignoring my voice, which is completely legitimate. So let's just take a look on a few things when it comes to costume design. So we're going to actually start from the bottom to the top of this. Go with it. So regarding the design, we have to keep in mind whether or not the design matches the game. Does it belong with everything else or the content it's in? Whether their inspirations are clear. I will also take into account like community opinions. Obviously, if a design got released and was drawn and people like it and there's fan art or whatever, like it is an appealing design. Unfortunately, people who don't make art have really high standards. So unless something was like really ugly, they wouldn't have made it. So if you like a character and I kind of say the design like is not the best, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad design or that it's not pretty or anything or attractive to someone, because obviously it is because it got released. So the community opinion is also very important. Yeah, we need to keep in mind that no particular choice or choice made by a designer can be good, is truly good or bad, and is subjective by the criteria we use for it, because art is subjective. You can have a character and you can like the character and they can have a terrible design, or they can have a really good design but you really don't like the character, and that can happen for sure. So you can appreciate that something's pretty without like, some people think these things ruin each other. I'm not of that. I'm approaching this from a technical standpoint. You are free to comment and question and bring up debates. You might see things that I don't, which is fine. Just, I wish I could shrug my shoulders with this thing. You can't see it. I actually talk with my hands and stuff. It's pretty expressive. I do not promote design fixing. I just noticed that I did put that in there, and that's pretty good. I don't believe in art fixing. These designs are not broken. You do not have the entitlement to fix. You can be inspired to create your own designs and use designs as a launching point, but I don't think that you should fix people's art because they released it. It's their finished art. It's their work. My art does not need to be fixed, and my fellow artists' art does not need to be fixed. You are free to draw, essentially, if you want. But that's not fixing. You're just making your own art at that point. Yes, and this is a gacha game, so it's also the thing to keep in mind is everything needs to be really unique, really marketable, and really appealing in general. And the uniqueness, because it's a large ensemble cast, will be a big seller as to whether a design is successful. And again, art is subjective. Please be respectful. I'll try my best to be respectful. Now we're going to go into what's not counted in the analysis. We will not be discussing whether it can be worn in real life and is practical for real life. Unless you are a cosplayer, it should really not matter what fictional characters and designs and drawings look like. I'm putting that out there. As someone who sews, I'm not taken out of it when sleeves are barely hanging on to someone. Dressing tape is a thing they use on the red carpet. Yeah, so you can't neglect what people say. The design, cultural sensitivity. If it's a culture I am not researched in, I will not make any judgments or anything like that. I am not qualified in that particular culture. If it is your culture and you have opinions on it, please, you can ring in. But in general, we're talking about fantasy here. So the cultural inspirations are kind of just like creative direction, and I shouldn't be taking it. When it comes to skincare when it comes to skin color, ethnicities, and whatnot, if it's not relevant in the game, like that or the whatever I'm talking about, or the identity of the person, it shouldn't really matter and will not be taken into account. I don't think you should be racist. I don't think that should be accounted in. This is fantasy. We are aware that these companies from the East that export to the West do not have the best diversity that reflects Western diversity or real life diversity at all. That's not what we're talking about here. That's a different subject. We're also not counting how objectifying. We're going to talk about this, actually. I'm going to talk about this later, but if I do not want people's idea of what is hot to determine the goodness of a character design. That's not a factor. You can design a character to be appealing in that way, but you cannot, like, that doesn't dictate whether a design is good or bad, and you shouldn't let it sway your opinion as to whether art is good or bad. I will try to avoid my personal biases towards colors, concepts, and whatever, because as a designer, of course, there's things that I like more than others. I'll probably say what I do and don't like, but I will also probably preface that it's something that I like, and so on. And we will not be, and this is a game, so a character's power level and their IP and who they are, which should not be swayed in general. This is streaming for me, but it didn't say I selected the stream. Warning, yeah, it's warning me about my bitrate. I'm so sure. Okay. Yeah, I've been streaming for a while. It says it's fine. All right. So next, the last things we're going to talk about is what do you think of when you are making a character design? And it is, can you tell the character apart from others? This is a really big cast, so this one's really important. Do the colors look good together? Are there too many colors? Just the general palette, feel, vibes, and whatnot. Is there clear shape to it? So a silhouette. So like if it was blacked out, could you tell this character apart and what they look like? This is like very common, particularly when replicating fashions from different eras. And then there's the contrast. So can you see the designs? Is there enough detail? Too much detail? The color placement? Is the design clear? The personality of the character. Would the character actually wear this? Do they have keepsakes on them, little knickknacks, things that, indicate that this person would actually logistically wear this? Does it match the character? The theme, the execution of the theme. I like it when people go really hard into a theme, but a clear theme is always can be a really good part of something. Does this character design match the cultural identity of the person is probably also very important. And does the design match their lore or have hints to their lore and their story? And does it make sense for their jobs and hobbies and whatever? So a good character design should display the character while simultaneously making them unique. So they need to be memorable in the viewer's head. It needs to the show the character because it's a part of the character, how they appear. And so on and so forth. I'm getting way off track, guys. Okay, so for this one, I did bring up a tier list. Luckily, unlike my last one, there are fewer Wuwa characters in Wuthering Waves. If you don't know what this game is, it is a action-based gacha game that is actually a PC game, but they wanted to get in the mobile market. Its context for the design is it really needed to stand out as its own thing, and from other type of games and related games, a different aesthetic, different vibes. If I had to say anything from a lot of the other games I've played, that this one has a definite futuristic trance vibe to it. So that's going to be reflected in the designs, of course. Nothing else about it has anything to do with this. So I'm gonna have to go to the tier list thing and check this out. I also have the game open, and I downloaded a bunch of images for unreleased characters and whatnot. It's all official art that you can find on their Twitter and other promotional materials, so none of this art was stolen. If you wish to see it or find more information on the artist, you are welcome to go to the social media site of Wuthering Waves or the credits and find out who some of the artists they hired are. I'm pretty sure that there was a bunch of artists they used because some of these pictures look really different. I didn't spot any AI, but like, keep your eyes peeled. Okay. It's starting here with Calcharo. So, we're gonna take a little peek at him. I'm gonna make the images visible underneath. And you can't see this, but I'm clicking inside of a program. Boop-a-doo. Okay, so this is the dude. I did not get him. I started on day one where they gave out free standards. I didn't get him. I found him not very comfortable to play, and honestly, I find him kind of terrifying. But that's not why we're here. To be clear, in this game, there's objectifying of men as they are of women. This game wants to really sell. It knows its audience. I don't agree with that philosophy. I find it a real turnoff when designs are a little bit much, but you know, he's covered. I mean, Shenhe is also fully covered. So, you know, you can be dressed and not dressed at the same time. This is definitely referencing an archetype. A lot of the designs are inspired by a lot of like 90s, 2000 type anime style stuff. His design stands out a little bit more. I'm going to get into what's wrong with his design is part of the problematic design philosophy in general, or the trying too hard type of philosophy. I think the blue is nice, and there's a really big priority on silhouette. We can't obviously see him live and turn around to see like how everything is, but you can notice that the color blocking and stuff like that, like when you look at him, all you're going to see is his hair, his skirt, and his shoulder pads. A lot of his black goes in. Who is a fan of gold, and you can never go wrong with gold. People love gold. Gold is like, it's everything here is so shiny. Like all of them have it. I might as well not even count it, but on all the buckles. I see, this is where it comes in, where this design has a lot of things I don't like. I like the silver hair. I don't necessarily like the face conventions and that kind of stuff, but it does have a nice silhouette, and it was well thought out. So, however, I don't know anything about the characters. So, we was not very good at telling you about the characters, which means that you are not going to have, I can't comment as to whether this is something he would or wouldn't wear. I don't know what his job is. I know nothing about his personality. I played him briefly once. That's probably about it. So, okay. We're going to go over to the tier list. If I can find it in my bajillion tabs. Where is he? Here he is. I don't think this is bad. This is a solid design. This is C. This isn't sinning in any particular way. And next it looks like we're going to go to Baija. So we can go into the game for that one for sure. All right. So I have the game open here. And I can use mouse. The mouse interface is nice. We actually might as well do Rover while we're here. God, this window's so hard to get to. My screen is not bright enough. But like, hear me say that constantly. Okay, so we have to go down here to get the full view, because that's where you can scroll out and see the actual full character. So I think that this design is, quite frankly, it's simultaneously very interesting and very boring at the same time. It's only mildly objectifying, particularly when she runs. A lot of the women's costumes have the problem where if you dodge, um, where they turn invisible when you go underneath them, this angle is actually far more lenient than other games, which I think is really rude, given that's function is censorship or censoring details. I like the little bow. The best thing about this design is honestly the little details. I think it's actually really pretty in the placement of the details. She has a definite silhouette you can see for sure on the front. I don't have the male rover, so I wouldn't be able to see anything. I think a lot of them generally have very unique eye styles. Unlike Traveler, very little personality going on here. Little gold tassels and stuff going on here. This is a lot simpler, but it does have the contrast in the right places. So I'm going to give this one probably a better review than the other one. Hey, open. There it is. Did they put them here? He did put them here. I'm going to put this in a B. I wouldn't say it's the best design because it didn't actually communicate anything about them either, right? So if it's not saying anything about the character but it looks nice, right? I can't put into A. It just doesn't check all of the boxes. Let's find Alto. All right. He's here somewhere. See, this layout is nice. I should mute the game volume, but there he is. I actually really like him. I am a fan of a big ham. So I actually think Alto has probably one of the better designs in the game, and the simple reason for that is he looks different from everyone else in the game. If I pull up here, you'll notice that it's really hard to tell characters apart. There's a lot of the same colors being repeated. I'm going to go into I should probably go into the reason why right now, but they're trying to make things look per region. So Hualong, or the main region that you're in, is a lot of black and white and leather and details in the fabrics on them. He doesn't necessarily look like he's from the Black Shore, but he is, I guess. One of the reasons I like him is he's arrow. He's a sleuth. I think the white hair makes him stand out. He's got a big personality too, which also makes him stand out from the crowd. Like, not a lot of them have stuff like that. Like, the silhouette is also definite, so you can see that there's actual contrast going on here. So a problem is that there's not a lot of contrast in most of the designs. So like, you would not, when you're playing him, you're not really gonna notice like the buttons and the leather and stuff like that. This would be so cool as a drawing or a painting when there's lots to look at, but when it's a model and it's moving around in a combat game, you're not going to see most of this. So then there's nothing inside of his game. I like the reference to the air on the back. This looks really great when he moves. So even in the game, it looked great as a design. And I appreciate that he looks like something different.
Nice pick.
And then after that, I think it showed Sanhua. So we can do Sanhua's original one. I know she's coming out with the skin soon, but not this very minute. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Mr. Computer. See, I'm remembering this time to switch between them. I'm going to put this, you know what, I think this is probably one of the better ones. You can fight me on that one because you might think it's boring, but from a design perspective, it's fine. It says Baija here, but we're going to do Sanhua. I have no rhyme or reason to the things that I do. Oops. All right. I know some people are some huge fans. I really like this design. The best part of this design is the silhouette of it, honestly. The way the skirt and the top is going and the tights and where the contrast is. You can't really see any of it when she's moving around, which is definitely a downside. I think the way the gold is placed and the symmetry is really pretty. And the hat, she definitely looks military. She looks like she serves her job right. There's lots of lore going on here. All of them have special objects, cherished items. All of them have their cherished items on their person. If you care to know and look into that. It is the necklace. That's what I thought. I think this was, I don't have much to honestly say about this one. Because a lot of the cast have the same colors, right? So the fact that even just her silhouette and everything, I see someone says Sanhua, and I always think of ice. and it really matches her animations and whatnot, even though you can't see most of it. So I'd give this one a pretty high rating as well. I think this is probably an A. I think they did a good job on their homework. Color coding. Color coding is your, like, your friend, guys. Where is she? I'm getting dizzy just looking at it. Like, look at all of this down here. Like, it's all black and white and monochromatic. And they're doing that predominantly because... Actually, I'm going to move this down because it doesn't actually say his job. I wouldn't know if he would or wouldn't wear that. Yeah, they're going for monochromatic, which is to go with the feel of the world and the locations. They're definitely using... I'm actually not sure what they're using color for. There are color themes to things, for sure. It wants Baija. Now we can do Baija. She's up here. I built her because I really like her.
Why hesitate if you know what you want?
This is such a pretty design with all the flowers and details. When she moves around, you can see it. Compared to a lot of the cast, the hair may be stupid, but it does help her stand out. She's a nurse. I don't know why a scientist, doctor, nurse would be dressed like this, but I ain't complaining, to be honest. The motifs of the little flowers is everywhere in the back and along the sides. She's got the boots, and she's all a cocktail style dress on it. I think there's a definite silhouette here, and good use of contrast, and they're sticking to a theme. I am not sure this is something that she would wear or is work appropriate. They did try to give her a silhouette of having a med pack and a coat, but in a lab coat. But either way, everything on this one is on point. So
why hesitate if you know what you want?
I would give that one. This is definitely got an A+ on their homework for sure. Oh, come on, listen to me. You don't want to know how much time I spent. I spent all morning prepping for this, and it's such a small video. Brant. Okay, so for Brant, we're gonna have to we're not gonna want the game. We're gonna want to go into images, because I've seen him in the game, but no. No, stop it. There's our boy. Okay. So our boy over here, I think he looks great. And the reason this design works is because of the hat. And I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, I think this region has a really high access to teal, blue, and pink dyes. A lot of crushed beetles, cinnabar, and woad, if you will. Oh, the woad. He's giving off a pirate circus conductor type of deal, and I think the jester feel of the checkers is really nice because he's from a circus. I think the hat referencing the fact that he sails is really great. I think he's like a charismatic, silly person, and thus all the frilly, that flamboyantness really works. I love this design. I also want this character, and the design is great. I love the character himself. I think it's really great. Fun fact, I don't actually have bias towards this color scheme. I actually think it's a little gaudy, but that adds to the charm. And it is referencing Italy and stained glass. So it kind of makes sense why they went with this color theme for the region. God, he's got a lot of details. It is a little visually cluttered, so you could give points off for the fact that it's visually cluttered. It's not just this art here. You see the model in the game as well. With that, for sure. A little unkempt, you know. I think this is really great. I can't wait to actually see his model in action, and I think he's coming out in the next patch. So I'm gonna give this one's gonna get an A. This is gonna get an A from me, dog. Okay, so they're doing this. Oh my god, Camellia. Oh shoo. Oh phooey. Camellia is like my sleep paralysis demon. She scares me, but we're gonna have to put that aside. We're gonna have to put it all aside for now. See, you guys don't see this, but I'm doing magic. Where is she? Camellia. Oh, I chose this piece of art for her. Amelia, okay. I don't like Yandries, but that aside, I believe they're going for rose thorns and or like a special type of flower. And an acrobaticist, I think, is the primary theme. They have all the bows, the tight fit. She does look like she's wearing a trapeze outfit. You gotta give it to that. The more goth alt girl thing. I'm sorry, I just find her so creepy. Um, when it comes to this design, I do think this is something she would wear. However, it does suffer from black and white syndrome in this game. It kind of just the only reason I remember her is from her burst and from all the creepy things. So if you'd never like kind of been there and never played her, you might forget about her, which is kind of sad in a way. They're dedicated so hard to this color theme that it's like all the characters start looking the same, and it doesn't matter if the silhouette changes very much because like they're still like this. I also find that the her animations pretty much do objectify her a lot, but and how she's written, uh, which is unfortunate. I feel like this is kind of the epitome of where you have a good design, but because of everything else around it, it just doesn't make the impact it would otherwise. Like you look at this right now, and it's a really pretty character and a really well done design. And you know a Yandere when you see it, but in the context of the game, everything looks like this. They all have the same silhouette and color patterns, and in a gacha game, you want them to stand out. And it's a year one character, so like in a year or so, they're gonna like come out with a whole bunch of other characters, and she might blend in, and that's not what I want for anyone's favorite. So on its own in isolation, it is a good design, but given its context, it's not an A plus. This is we're looking at a B here. And that's not because she creeps me out, okay? It's not just because clowns kind of creep me out. That's not it, okay? Oh, okay. Carlotta. I have Carlotta, so that should make it easier on us than having to go through the image bin. Okay. Where is she? I just got her.
I alone will decide whether it's
Okay,
for
so
show or
I have
for
some pet
battle.
peeves with this design. I'm just gonna get out of the way. So first of all, if you can't see it, the theme is diamonds. That is the theme going on here. I do not think her silhouette is anything special. I really don't. With the high boots or anything like that. I think there aren't a lot of characters with this color scheme right now. So even though it's white and black, there's just when you look at the back, like the flash of pink and blue is just so stunning. Even when she starts animating, like there's a lot of color going on that makes her definitely stand out. Particularly most scenes you only see her from the bust up. So with this character is she's from a rich family, so they need to serve rich girl, for sure, and they definitely do serve. This serves posh rich girl, hyper feminine, put a big pink bow on it, lots of lace. The gold striping blends in pretty nice. You can see on her coat. No detail is fighting each other. There's definite use of silhouette and color blocking here, where the pink is and where the white is on her hair. There's enough contrast between where they place the pink that you can see both her hair and her skirt, and it's not blending together. And the boots are understated, which kind of works until they're at the bottom. So it's a nice balance of detail here, I think. It looks really crowded. There's a point where it looks crowded, but it doesn't at the same time because of the color usage. I think this is great. I think this does look like something she would wear, or I guess get made for her in this case. I think this is a really great design. I do not like the hair trope they're using. It gives me flashbacks to harem animes I didn't enjoy very much, but I would say that this one is definitely better, particularly because her design is extremely refreshing when you compare it to a lot of the other things that have come out. So I'm going to give that one an A. It really just, oh, Shangli. Okay, I don't have Shangli. So we're going to have to put, did I do Shangli? No, I didn't bring both of hers. That's okay. Okay, this is Shangli. This is not, I'm just realizing this is probably not the best photo of her. It's not her actual art of her. Gosh, you can't even see her very well. Okay. This is a clinical case of, oh my gosh, I'm moving all the wrong things. No, I'm trying to move her. This is a clinical case of too much clutter. this is what it looks like when you put too much design and the contrast is inappropriate. So the darkest colors here are the black and the red. But where the black and red are placed together and the red on the inside of the sleeve and the red on her hand, you can no longer tell that her hand is red. And her hair with the white blends in from the back with the white. Like, it's a little bit better from the back, trust me. And like the silhouette isn't anything special. My eyes are being pulled all different directions because there's not really anything going on here. There's a lot of straight lines, which under normal, which is the predominant thing looking at her. The theme is Phoenix, and I literally had to guess because her hand was red. And I saw those little things in her hair. I would never have guessed. I feel like they could have gone harder. She does have very unique face and hairs, but then again, it does suffer from black, white, red syndrome that this game has. She does have a really strong IP in the story. I'm not sure if this is or isn't something she would wear. I haven't read her background or her lore. I'm gonna give this one's really low because it's hard to look at, to be honest, because of the color placement and the color blocking isn't necessarily that good. However, the color palette is very pleasing. Like, she is very soft and pleasing to look at in terms of the colors and the cuts they chose. But when you see the design as a whole, it just leaves, it's just a lot. And I don't even think it's enough to make her stand out either in the crowd of things. And that's not good in a gacha game. Also, she's really broken and I do like her as a character. So now you can't say that that I'm not opposed to roasting people. Ooh, Shorekeeper. I love Shorekeeper. Let's go. Okay. Back in the game. And Shorekeeper at the top. I really love Shorekeeper. This is the first time I saw something that looked truly different. There's none of this black and white syndrome. They just said we want it to be blue and silver. A lot of the characters have, I guess, yeah, a lot of the characters have gold on them somewhere. You'll see. Shorekeeper has silver. And if you did not know what her theme is 100% butterflies. They're everywhere. Her little flowers, little butterfly flowers on the top of her veil. Her back has a butterfly on it. She's got the butterfly sleeves. The front, everything here is serving butterfly. Even when she like they committed. She looks like a little fairy. The silhouette is so different from anything else. And it works so well with her animations. It's absolutely beautiful, the effects that they put on the satin and stuff. Like, I would sculpt this and draw this 100%. It is like, and it's telling, I'm not sure if there's the butterflies so much serve something thematically in the story having to do with her. I got the impression that she didn't really care what she wore. So we're gonna go with that. But that checks a lot of the boxes of what I would look for in a good character design. And honestly, if you want to, like, blue is the most common favorite color of everyone. So if you really want to get someone a blue hook, line, and sinker, yeah, I really do. I also like her as a character. I think it's like really great. Okay, so I actually think she is like really good, and I'm gonna go into it. You can see that as the more recent characters got a lot more love in the original ones, which is kind of unfair. I like Lumi. I rolled for a 4-star. You are allowed to hate me. She's definitely supposed to be a hamster. Look at this. Look at this. Like, we're gonna have to zoom out for a second. You cannot tell me that this doesn't look different from everyone. She's wearing a jumper, and that pink suit just drags your eyes up towards her face. And she's got an obvious execution of and theme, being a mouse girl and all. There's even little trinkets referencing her personality and things she likes and keepsakes. Like, this is just, they chose a look, they went, they committed, and I honestly really like it. It's just the dedication and the bouncing. This is just like, even though it has, and it's not even the typical black and white, because with the shade of the pink and the brown, it's and the little details and stuff. It's like, it feels like what they were going for, but it feels more alive. Like, they let the designer have fun, and I couldn't pass it up. Like, this is the funnest thing in the entire game. It is so cute. I can't. What was her cherished item? It is the pen. Is it a pen? It's a marker for filling the things out. That is so cute. Okay. I think enough said. I think the silhouette serves. I think the contrast is definitely doing something. I think it's referencing her job. I think it's referencing the theme. I think it's fun. We're going to give her a good score. And I just realized that I kept the tier list up again. So I feel like I need a punishment every time I do that. Phoebe. Okay. I like the references to all the Greek stuff that they've been doing recently. Here, let me pull her up. I was only able to find one picture of her online, which was so strange to me because she's an upcoming character. She gives me 4-star energy when I saw her. So, let's see. This is her. What I like the most about this design is it tells you where she works, what she does, and her role in the story. They have the thorns for the divinations. If you play the plot, she definitely looks like the church. She's serving the cute European girl, innocent European girl. It's a pretty common trope. It's nothing interesting to look at, however. It does suffer from the black-white accent color syndrome. Her hair does make her stand out a little bit, but and the hat. It's really the hat. The hat is saving this, and the blue drape that she's holding there over her shoulder is also like doing a lot of lifting. I do like the details they chose for this and the inspiration, but it is just a little bit boring because it's not just that you can't see the details, it's cute, but I'm also left wanting more from this. Like, it's another case of there's nothing critically wrong with this design, but it's not like a banger. So that's a B. Well, we have no complete failures yet. Not throwing anyone under us. Oh, Roshi, is that how you say it? Say it. I don't know. Roshi or Rokio? Don't look at me. I was only able to find one piece of art for her too, which is like, and I'm scared to find fan art because the credits for this video would get like so long. Also, the official artists are like really nice and they deserve shoutouts too. Okay, here she is. I really like this design. However, they have a lot of really similar colors really close to each other. If you watched my previous one, you would have noticed that the blue or like in Sucrose's hair, like they had too many colors that were kind of too similar and it didn't look very good. This is a similar case. Her colors are eating her because there's so much of them, like little pom-poms and the fluff and everything here is like really great with the suitcase. I found when I was even playing her, like in gameplay, it's hard to see her because the purple in her hair and her fan, and even standing with the silhouette, like she has immense presence, I must say, as a character. This does make sense for something she would wear, so she does get that point. She does have more colors that distinguish her from everyone else, so I think that is probably a plus there. They put a lot of work into this one, but something about it is just off, and it's so hard to tell from the art. So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt that it's probably better. I don't feel like opening the game and going into trial just to look at the model work here. I saw quite a bit of it in the story, for sure, but this is like cluttered. And when it comes to Brent, the reason it worked is because he had such high contrast and all of the colors were very different. But here, a lot of the colors are a lot of the same, predominantly the shade of purple. And because it's at the top near her hair, it's like I don't know where to. I guess it does kind of frame her face to make you look up at her. Anyway, I wouldn't say this is terrible, but it also just it does make me have a little bit of want in there. She is unique enough, so I can't just say it's a terrible design because it ain't. Oh, he's next. I don't even know his name. I forget his name, but I know him and I remembered him. I almost did that thing again where I left that screen up. Oh, I liked him. I thought he was the cutest. Ah, Chang. Who is that? Shang Li Yao. Okay, yes, okay. I think I kind of pronounced it. If I'm butchering your language, I'm sorry. This is simultaneously a good and a bad design. So it references his abilities. I don't know if there's any lore with his arm, but I assume there is. We met him as a wish granter, which was kind of cool. When you play him, this design like really stands out. I think you're in the card selector. You definitely see him. He looks very different from a lot of the other characters, which of course is important in a game like this. It is a little bit cluttered, but I find that because of the color blocking, and they made the lines very definite and very big, so when you're zoomed out most of the way, you can actually see the lines and the details. And nothing's fighting. Everything is bringing itself out, for sure, just because of where they place the blue. And I feel like the little bit of purple and his hair color and whatnot, and the placement and the asymmetry really just makes everything stand out. I would actually say that this one is a lot better. I don't think it's the prettiest thing in the world, but it is memorable and it does stand out. And I'm gonna give it points for that because I say so. Yeah, the later on, I found out after that Star Festival, the design certainly picked up in quality for me. Because before that, it was just the magistrate that looked nice. I am falling asleep if you care to know. I'm trying to resist getting an energy drink because I'm going to need those for later. I wouldn't say it's as pleasing as the others. There's something that's slightly off that's just bothering with... Sorry, I have to remove this lower because there's just something bothering me. I think that's fair. I think he's in a tier with Camellia. Oh god, that girl. I unfortunately have her on my account. Okay. I met her in the plot for 5 seconds and I skipped all of her dialogue because I was allowed to. We're not going to let that influence how I think about it. So she is suffering from the monochromatic syndrome, but the blue hair is kind of saving it for me. Also her personality. Like I pulled up the board. You can like kind of sort her out of the crowd. I think Shorekeeper wore it better.
Understood. I am here to serve.
But I think they're trying to stay on the theme with her from the back. There's just nothing special, particularly to other short female characters you're gonna see in the game. There's just it's very plain. They didn't even give like the hidden details and stuff like they normally would. I will give bonus points on the silhouette because of the stupid hair. Her hands are like blending in with her dress. That is like, that's an artistic choice. And I like the scroll on the back. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it stands out well enough. I know this character when I see her. I'm not sure if this is something she would hold on to or anything like that. I'm not well versed in this character. It does serve her element. I don't know what she's referencing. She looks like she's definitely referencing something though. I think it's fun, so I'm gonna give it fun points, but I wouldn't say it's like a top one. See, this is totally changing my opinion. I usually hate them all because they don't look very different from each other. Like, a lot of it looks the same. Zanny looks, in the game, looks very different from the other characters. But when you see her here, I wouldn't blame you if you got her mixed up with Camellia or Alto. Or Sanhua. I would not blame you at all if that was the case. We're gonna have to get art for her. So, get a closer look over here. Here she is. I just remember instinctively, I got really warm vibes from her as a character, so I remembered her really well. First impressions are everything. She's a security officer. She looks like a security officer. Her personality and the way she behaves, very professional, makes perfect sense. Don't know why there's demons in this world. I don't ask questions. You can literally get an achievement for... I wouldn't want to take a bath in that city. There, the bathtubs are live. They did some really interesting things with world building I didn't see coming. Mutant bathtubs was definitely an achievement for sitting in one, was definitely not on my list. This picture is also misleading because her model is far prettier than this picture is presenting her as being. I think, and her posture and her height and the silhouette, like, it's way better in the game. Trust me, guys. And the white on top and the black on the bottom and very streamlined with lots of presence. I think this one is actually really great. It is like simplicity and function over over anything else. She does blend in a little bit, but I don't want to take points off because she does genuinely actually look different. So we're gonna go into the tier list. I think in terms of describing her as a character, they did a really good job. So I'm gonna say that that's a good one. Jeji, okay, I have feelings on Jeji. We're gonna get there for a second. Wuthering Waves and tier list maker gone.
Gotcha!
For now. I like her. I think she's I've been converted. I forget what this archetype is. The colors. I too am an artist. The colors are what serves in here. Also, the silhouette is so stupid. Like, I don't know what's going on. I see the vision, but it's like the cut is just a little bit too low. And from the back, like, the silhouette is super strange, but the colors are just so pretty. And they match her. I think she would wear something a little bit more modest. And little paintbrushes and cranes linking to anything. I think she's cute. I think they committed to her design for sure. Oh, it's got a little paint box there. That is so cute. I can't. I had to get this character. Not just because Yunlin made my brain spasm. And we step out. She does stand out, which is important in this type of game, for sure. I really like this one. There is something that bothers me about the silhouette, but in general, there's nothing wrong with that. So that's a B, y'all. I feel kind of bad because I'm trying to put my biases aside because I really think that the design is super pretty. It does stand out. Maybe I should let my personal bias on the shape of it get in the way. I think that one's pretty nice. Oh, I don't even want to her name. She who must not be spoken. She who must not be named. Nope, we want that. Okay. Where is she? Oh my god, I do not like this character. Oh. When I look at her, all I see is red. I'm zooming out now and I'm seeing more details. But like, she looks so generically. There's just so much black and red characters that she just really blends in. There's no distinct silhouette. There's nothing going on here. The curtains match the windows is not enough to save this character design. I don't like it. There's no silhouette going on here. There's no interest. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It blends in with the rest of the crowd. If this is like the epitome of what is wrong with the character design in this game, is that they wanted a regional aesthetic so bad that in earlier characters, they sacrificed the look of the character to make them look like where they were from, which is important in a character design. But if you go so hard into making something look generic and in with the rest of the game, you're going to start sacrificing the creativity that comes with making it. Like, this just sounds like someone said, hey, looks good, stamp of approval, let's put some stuff on here. She probably would wear it, but it's just not saying anything about her to me in particular. They tried to put some blue in there. I feel like if they had put more blue and more of the fun stripes and rainbows, it probably would have made her design a lot better, because you can see there's like some on her thigh and the cuff and here and in her hair. And I feel if they had like put a little bit more of that in some places, she probably would have been a lot more memorable. But unfortunately, not so much.
Another day, another heroic.
Sorry. I love not having anyone watch these. This is embarrassing. Ugh. Denji. I think Denji suffers from the same syndrome, but she's a little bit better. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Denji. Okay, so this girl looks a lot like the last girl. Huh.
I didn't
Um,
startle you, did I?
what Denji's going for her is honestly the blue accents, I think, and her animations are pink. That's pretty much about it. Like, from behind, you tell one of... If you did not play this game, you cannot tell me that you would have been able to tell these characters apart. I literally thought they were the first character for so many months playing this game. I was like, oh, who's that? Then she's the blue, which I think brings out the color, and they put a little bit more of it, and they placed it nicely. I find that compared to the previous one, the placement of the colors is more thoughtful. I do not know if this is something Denji would wear, but the details are a lot more balanced in this one. So I'd say it's better, but not by much more. Gosh, she's so cute though. I'm sorry, Denji, you just don't stand out. She's watch her stands come after me. She's that type of character that probably has like a feral pack of stands after her. I steer really hard away from the fandom and from any meta talk. I'm in this game exclusively to not be influenced by online creators and whatnot, because I just want to have a genuine experience of the game that's not have any toxic mindset in it. Encore. Oh, I feel so bad putting her in there. Let's see if maybe I'll raise her up a little bit. Okay, I also have Encore. I accidentally got her S1.
Sometimes I get a little
To be clear, I like Encore. I think she's the cutest thing ever. If you play Genshin but you don't play Wuwa, this is Klee. Same. The gold details are so pretty. She looks like she's wearing a little flower and the little shoes. It's like she actually looks like a girl. She actually looks really cute here. With the flop and the flowers and when she runs around. Her battle animations are not very good. But like I couldn't not like I couldn't resist. She's so clunky to play, but like this type of pink like stands out probably because they put it in her eyes. Yeah, like you know her from Tauchi.
perfect weather for a walk today.
We're gonna get to this in a minute, but
Time for another
they look
adventure?
quite similar. But I think they're just between the animations and everything like that, like this is gonna stick in your head for a little bit. So I'm gonna give her extra props. Yeah, that just serves. This is like monochromatic, but like they chose a shade of pink that's so different from everyone else that it makes her stand out. It's not like a warm pink. It's like a really cute one. And I'm a sucker for that. So should I mute Wuba? It's kind of being weird. Yeah, there's something that's really okay. The pink thing is kind of bothering me. Is that fair? No, I think she's got a bit more personality. I think she belongs a little bit more. Oh, I'm gonna look at her before I do a final verdict because I'm affectionate towards that type of design, and I just wanna be sure before I place her. I have her built as well. I think she's fun. I too am one with the Tao. Well, didn't she have the coupon? Yeah, the coupons. They show people's goodness. I'm sorry, I'm just a fan. Look at the size of that Uwagi. And it works well. Her design works well with her animations too. The hair silhouette, like the splashes of mint in it. Like she stands out. Like even if you look at her at the permanent banner, let's see if I can go on the Convene banner, right here. I like how they pick the ones that stand out the most. For that, go back up here to the tags. She kind of shows up in the story and doesn't really do much in the story. I think her trailer is the most like she's a himbo but a she at the same time, and the jade green and the clouds. Nothing here is competing. It's got an upward silhouette to drag you towards her face. The white underneath is nice. I think the best part is that this is the black out of all the black and white schemes is probably one of the more pleasing uses and the yin yang thing of it of contrast of the black and white color scheme. And I think it is actually enough to make her stand out. We're just going to do the icon check here for a second. She just, I feel like
Why hesitate if you know?
I'll do my best.
she does kind of blend in. I feel like someone would forget about it. So even though I think this is pleasant, I might have to just take off points because I think that someone somewhere out there might actually forget who she is, unfortunately. I'm trying to think. I think that's fair. I think that's creative. Okay, so my just Shinji goes all the way at the top. I'm gonna explain myself. Can't just go out doing these things. But I'm gonna oh. Where's the game? There it is. Okay. Shinji.
May I pray for anything specific?
We realize that she's actually a little girl. So I like this one because she looks like the dragon. The theming is on point. We have references to the dragon. We have references to light. Her color is very different. Her animations are very different. Her hair is very different. Her outfit is all of these crossings and layering of all the different colors, but you can see them. The black at the top draws you up to her face, but everything is coordinated together. Like, and you can get kind of lost in this because you see this the design and you mostly just think of the bell skirt. But like the more you look, like the more you see here. It's very, the color palette is just very pleasing. The way everything wraps and the detail placement is just, it's a little compete-y, but it's like not too much. The colors are really nice. And it tells a story and it's definitely something I think she would wear. So I'm going to go with that as a great character design. Okay, let's go here. Back to the tier list. And the next person we are looking at is Xion. Xion's one of the reasons I joined the game. You're free to judge me for that. I think he is absolutely adorable. I didn't do most of his Korean voice actor. I think I like a little bit better. Don't tell. This is probably one of the better character designs in the game as well. This is probably one of my favorite ones. It's got a lot of color in it. I feel like because of the silhouette of his ponytail and his hood, everything like stands out at the front. It draws your eyes to the right places, but there's details if you choose to look closer. There's references to the teal and to the dragon. And where he's from, of course. Mild objectification, we don't look there. I find that where they place the white and the teal is kind of like helps bring out all the areas. It's just very nice. I think it's the colors that mostly make him stand out to a lot of the other cast. It's just the commitment to the theme here, right? Yeah, look at all these like leather details that are just so difficult to see in general when you draw him in the silhouettes. I am getting tired, guys. I was already tired. I started the day. I woke up tired. This is what it's like to be mentally ill. Or not mentally ill, physically ill. This disability life. I think this is great. So part of me really wants to lower some of these because they were simpler. But they are serving. Oh, is it Lang Liang? Is that the guy's name? He's got an interesting... I got some pictures for him because I don't actually have him. Bless. He's super hard to play. I now I'm pragmatic, eh? Okay. Boop. Okay, so... Oh, we have Zanny there. Whoop. This is so busy. Like, it doesn't... It is so busy. Like, Genshin does busy, but this particular brand in which this is busy, he doesn't even look like he belongs. Like, first of all, he stands out in the cast, for sure. Like, you know this, you're gonna know this guy when you do it. I thought his story was kind of cute. It wasn't my favorite. It was fine. And the reason for that is it's actually the shredding and ruffling patterns. And if you see on here, the way that they're trying to incorporate a silhouette with the wrapping of the fabric, but everything's like the same color. Like it's just white on white on white. And unlike Ishinchi, where it was placed in a way that gave her a silhouette, I can't believe I almost recommended not to put him in pants. But he is representing a specific culture of lion dancing, which having seen actual lion dancer, I can't say no to that theme. I think it's great. I love when they share that part of their heritage. but because of the way the fabric is ripped and the waviness of the fabric on the patterns on the fabric and all the bells and whistles at the front and lines in the belt, it does make everything blend together. And when I tell you it is difficult to see him when you are playing him, I am not joking. Like, there's just so much fluff going on. This is a character that is fun to draw, but maybe not necessarily made for a video game, if I'm gonna be honest. It is just overly cluttered, but it is unique. I do think he would wear it. It does tell a story. It's technically a good design, but my goodness, does it not work in a video game? See, people know what they're doing when they're selling you stuff. Oh, Mortifi. I'm gonna just go in there and quickly. Okay, so I have a Mortifi, I have an S6. Mortifi, he keeps running on the characters banners.
I have experiments
I like him in the story, actually. This is just boring, and it is a really easy trap to fall into. I find when I also make male designs, when you want to keep a traditionally male silhouette from the past 200 years of men's clothing or even past there's usually really emphasis on a box-like shape and the simple trousers and a simple coat. It's kind of a really classic design that they have going here. But because it's the colors they chose, he blends in with everything else, right? Like, I like the references and thing that's going on with this. But it's just, particularly with the rest of the cast, it doesn't feel like he belongs in it because it's almost like too simple. And it's really easy to fall into that trap because men's clothing, of course, is all about the details, but they didn't even give him the same level of detail they would. Like, they wanted to go lab coat, and it's a fellow lab coat where, I can tell you, A, lab coats don't look like this, and B, if they did have details, it's actually people just tie-dyeing their lab coats. It's very popular in science classrooms. She remember chem class and everyone would just tie-dye it. I'm like, that dye is gonna react with something. My lab coat, I had to like wash it in a bucket in cold water and then soap and other solvents because I had gotten some pretty toxic stuff on it. Like, I had to keep it in a special bag so it didn't touch anything because of some of the stuff I was working with in labs. It was a weird tangent. Yeah, he just doesn't stand out from the other male characters. Is he the only male character with red hair, though?
experiments underway.
Pretty much. So this is just a symptom of just starter character syndrome, honestly, where the designs got better as they went around. Design creep is really common because they gotta try and make things look very different. It does say something about him. I think he would wear it, but it's just... It almost felt like someone halfway tried, but then they had a deadline and they were like, good enough, right? Like, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, they could have like put some detail at the bottom of the lab coat back here. I think probably would have been really cool. It would have been an interpretation I would have made. But as someone who falls into this fellow trap, I can't be mad at someone for doing this, but it's half baked. And I think this character could have been designed a little bit better in the context of the game. They could have made him so much cooler. And people would have rolled on him because he was cool, not just because he's a broken support for one of the better DPSs in the game. Ah, our guy Mortifi. Ah, same syndrome over here. We're about to have an interesting discussion about this one. As you can see, she kind of disappears with some of the other ones. But she doesn't... Like, just everyone be straight with me for a second that plays this game. How many of you forget that Douchi even exists? That's right. You only remember because she's in the trials. She's probably got fans because every character has fans, but yeah. As a day one player, I have all of the 4 stars, of course.
Perfect weather.
Havoc DPS. This is essentially Beto if you play stuff like that. Her counters kind of like really awkward to pull off. This isn't a game that's made for counters. This is a game that's made for dodging. She has enough of a silhouette for you to remember her, but I don't think the silhouette's caused by her costume. I'm gonna be out here. Yeah. She shouldn't have lingered there very often. I just find that it's just the color scheme is just not giving enough. If I remember anything about her, it's honestly because of the bow in her hair and the really hourglass white dress is probably the thing that makes her stand out the most. From Animations also do not do this design any service. They didn't elaborate anything on the story, but yeah, they just don't do a lot of stuff on the story for the characters either. So it's really hard to say. It doesn't feel like there's any theme or anything going on here. It feels like someone asked for, hey, I need you to make them all look like they belong here. And we want these colors. And they filled it out. It's not like the details on this design aren't pretty, because they are. And alone, just like Camellia, on its own, it's a really nice character design. But it's not gacha game. Like, she just doesn't stand out very much at all to me. It's just unfortunate. The color blocking is like pretty good too. It just blends in. It's just in this context. There's just something that's off about it. I'd have to think about it for a while. I think it might actually be her sleeves. I think the sleeves are throwing me off, and I feel like they could have put more color. I feel like had they actually put more gold instead of that hot pink there, maybe it might be a color issue. I think it's a mild color placement issue, but it's still pretty. So I don't want to fix it or change it. I don't promote that. I think it's fine. It's just, it's another case of something is lacking. In the Genshin Tales, we also had some people where something was just lacking. I'm actually gonna give it extra points because something's only slightly bothering me about it. It's not boring or anything. It's not bad, but it's not serving the same as I would expect. Marina, oh my gosh. Okay, let's take a look at her. Again, you can change your mind about things. We're gonna double check. My opinions can change. In a year from now, maybe my opinions will change. Okay. This is Brina. Brina is probably the one that stands out the most in the entire crew, just from the green. It is hella busy. The flowers and the hoods and the vine going down. The hair is so silly. Looks like a cabbage. The colors are pretty, but I honestly just don't like the silhouette of this. But that aside, she's a botanist. She's a cute little girl, and she's wearing green. She stands out from the rest of the cast. When you say who this character is, you know who this character is. They went for a definite look. I can see that they put definite thought into this. Like, she's got gardening shorts on. I personally wouldn't, as someone who studied botany, probably wouldn't, like, wear this into the garden. Like, she at least needs her knees covered. And her fingers covered, if you're gonna work with plants. It's talking from experience. I garden, guys. Also, one of my minors was botany. That's beside the fact. I must say, though, that this model looks really bad when it moves. And that is my one pet peeve with this model, is it looks bad when it moves. And the animations are like, don't work with the model. The model and the animations fight. But the design itself is good. It checks all the boxes. She'd wear it. It's a pleasant color scheme. It has a definite silhouette that makes her distinct. You know it when you talk about her. She's unique enough. Like, there's nothing, like, going on here. That's, like, a 10 out of 10. I'm, like, surprising myself that when you actually, like, think about it, these designs are more thought out than I would have suspected they would be. If I put those people down there, I think I have to demote Baija and Sanhua to the second level just because of the treatment that I gave some of the other people here. I think someone would probably more agree with something like this. Okay. I'm fairly generous. Yang Yang, best girl. Let's go. I do have favoritism for some of these characters. I have feelings about some of these characters are given personalities, and some of them are not.
Hopefully, we'll make you find
Here
it.
she is.
My sweet father
I think she's fun. I think she's cute. They went with Magpie, I believe. Yeah, the feathers in the hair. She is deep blue, which does make her kind of blend in with Yanwu a little bit there. Why we haven't gotten to him yet, I don't know. But this design is just like so striking and the curves are so pleasant. And it's like, it's modest and cute and I feel like it matches her personality. And again, it's the hat. This game needs more interesting hats. Hats are underrated in character design. Maybe I should have more hats in my designs. Maybe we're all missing out and the secret was hats all along. Everyone's funky hair. Do the hats. Like when I think of Yang, I always think of the blue hat with the feathers. And just the smile, like her hair and stuff with a big bow on it. There's not too much detail. Nothing is competing. It just feels really balanced. And because it's so striking, it does. When you pull up the menu, like it's just something about it is just so striking compared to the other 4 stars in the lot that you like kind of notice it, right? Also, why did they give us Yanwu for free when they could have given us like literally anyone else? I'm a little bit salty. He's not fun, okay? I don't find him fun to play. Sorry, my brain glitched for a second. Okay. Okay, now we have to have the conversation that I was kind of dreading regarding this game, because Yinlin's next. Okay, Yinlin.
No rush.
Yinlin is an example of fan service. This design is beautiful and on point. Is this what a secret agent would wear? No clue. Did I do her story? No. Yeah, her puppet. That's what I thought. The puppet master. I love the glowy bits. I love the silhouette of the dress and the gold on it. Like, and then combined with the hair. Like, she really stands out even though she's got the black and red. There's more black, red, and gold, and the red is bright enough that it contrasts, and the purple is brought out through her eyes, tying it all together with little pins. The fabric detail is beautiful. Even the shoes are cool. But the problem with this is that this design was clearly made to appeal to a certain demographic. Like this game is very objectifying to pretty much every single character, but this design in particular kind of like goes a little bit too hard. I'm not going to be taking this into my consideration because I consider that a bad thing and some people consider it a good thing. But I just wanted to make a point that a lot of these designs do make the models like they're supposed to be ogled at. It's not what I like in a gacha game. I like to collect the character first, not just the way they look. And I did get her for a team because she's fun, but I do find her intimidating in terms of her personality. But you can't deny just the silhouette and the color block and just the fact that she's just wearing black. It does make her really stand out in the crew. And when you put her out here, she doesn't, she like, you think, oh, yeah, she matches all the other freaking redheads in the game. When you actually look at her model, it's a little bit different. So Yinlin gets extra points. I think it's pretty well done. I have no further notes. You could tell I'm falling asleep when my model starts going, oh. I have a Y lock, so for when I go the Y axis, because I keep listing. It's you guys never get to know that I take up gamer posture sometimes. I just never remember him. I'm gonna give him a C. C's get degrees, guys. It's not a bad thing. It's not bad to get there's kind of a school theme going on here. This is not intentional. Okay, I have Yanwu as well. Here he is.
I can help you with.
Given for free because I tried to do Tower Diversity and realized it sucked and Abyss is better. See, Lucifer Realm in this game is great. Imaginarium Theater sucks, but Abyss is better than Tower Diversity. This is the same syndrome. This is an example of like simple menswear that they did with Mortifi, but made it a little bit more interesting. So it is a trench coat stuff. And they got the vest going in there, doing some really cool like shapes and stuff. They're not, none of the details are like competing too much. I think his sleeve details are kind of distracting away from his vest or vice versa. They put the hat on him so that, you know, tell it's him. See, it's the hat. This game really like loves its hats. I appreciate that, you know? He's wearing spats. No, he's just wearing regular business shoes. So if Mortifi was like a lab worker, this is like a gentleman. I don't know anything about this character, so I wouldn't be able to be a judgment on. He has no plot, unfortunately. Kind of did no justice, but he is serving mafia boss, and I don't know. It's very forgettable because unlike Yang Yang, where it's like the blue and the silhouette is so balanced and so pleasing that when you look at this and you look at him, you're like, I don't know where to look, but like when I look, it looks nice. And it's just, it's not as poppy, it's not as bright. The details fight a little bit, even the color blocking is good or bad. So this is like, it's just a C, this is average. Something about it seems off to me, but it's not bad by any means. It is a little bit forgettable, which is not good in the context of this game when you put in context. So I'm going to put him here. And I think I've pretty much said the same thing about everyone else here. The contrast was either in the middle. In the C tier, the contrast was either weird or off. The design left me wanting more. Or like, it was pleasing, but there just felt like there was something missing. In D, it's just like they're not very recognizable. In F, it just felt haphazard and unthoughtful. On B, you know, they weren't perfect. They still kind of blend in with the rest of the cast, but you know, they are good designs. In general, I have no complaints at all. And the top is like, this matches the character, it matches the world, matches the context. They committed to a design. They went in, they had fun, they're distinct enough. Like, you would know all of those characters. I look forward to actually seeing in the future with this game, to see what more characters we get and what kind of color schemes are going to be in other worlds. They seem to be going color schemes by the region. So it's a live service game. So if it does stay live, and I don't hate this game. I'm not going to like turn off my account or anything. So I'm interested to see what color schemes they choose for other places. And definitely see design quality go up. Genshin had this for sure, with design quality going up. I don't follow a lot of other games where I've been with them long enough to see improvements. But I know, like, you can tell in the new area that they made enough money to really improve the game, and the art direction went up, and it's like, oh, we don't have to play it safe anymore. We can go hard. And I think that's really important when it's like a fantasy game. Like, make kids interesting. Make characters lively. Like, that's where the fun of it is, right? Okay, did we miss anyone? No, that is fine. I'm just checking my stats screens here. We went over this. So, if I'm doing another one of these, it's probably going to be for a cartoon. I'm honestly think I might do Naruto because it's just... Mostly I just want to talk about it because some people really hate the designs, but the reasons for them is like really interesting. I think it's like a really good example of the functionality of, not like functionality in terms of for the character wearing it, but the functionality of the medium and the world building and how that impacts what someone wears and that kind of stuff. I think it's really good for that. I'm not sure I'm going to find a tier list, but if anyone ever comes across this video and you have ideas on things you want me to look at or to examine that you think are interesting or neat, or you have opinions on, whether that be anime or movies or games or whatever, just make sure it has a cast of more than 5 characters that we need to care about, and we'll go from there. I do consults. I haven't had any art postings because I honestly just don't want to be grouped in with the art community right now. I don't like my art being online. I started out as an online artist, but like, so if you find any of my art, it's probably my old art. just be warned. And I don't really like my art that much. So if you want a slight example of my art, I did draw my model and I rigged it. And rigging a 2D picture is not a PNG is it's not very fun. It's not. And this art isn't even normally how I really draw too much either. Okay. So that one was relatively short. Maybe I can do some cozy games or something later if I think of something fun in Genshin. I've just been burned out a little bit lately. So, like a responsible person, unlike other streamers, I'm not gonna make imaginary challenges. I'm actually just legitimately gonna come back. Just take a little bit of time. And particularly because I'm pretty tired, you know, you want me to be entertaining and yap for a while, right? Yeah. Oh, also let me know if there's any like small cozy games or whatever. I would do my Zelda because I'm doing Korok percent, but Korok and Quest percent, almost completed it, but I don't have an adapter, so no Switch games for now. Not that I wouldn't love to do some Switch games, for you guys for sure. All right, I'll see you later. Hopefully with an animated cover for